Fire Eyes Media.
A young woman takes a birthday trip to Houston and vanishes. Her phone is found bloodied in a park. Her dad drops everything to search for her. And the man police say is responsible, he walks free and disappears.
This story is disturbing on so many levels, from missed chances to tragic discoveries. And at the heart of it all is Felicia Johnson, a daughter, a dreamer, and someone who should still be here.
Felicia traveled from California to Houston, Texas for a birthday trip on April 13th, 2022. She stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel, which is in the medical district in downtown Houston, and right next to one of the best hospitals in the country, the Texas Medical Center.
This hotel is fancy, too. It's a skyscraper in the middle of downtown Houston with gigantic conference rooms and guest rooms that are up to 2,000 square feet in size.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds like a pretty fantastic way to celebrate a birthday.
It really does. I mean, I can guarantee neither of us did anything that exciting for our 24th birthdays.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So, Felicia's family back in California is assuming that she's off having a blast in Houston. But then, in the early hours of April 16th, she stopped using her phone.
This may not seem like a big deal to some people, but Felicia was very attached to her phone. So when her family hadn't heard from her by 10:30 a.m., they understandably got concerned.
They were concerned and clever because they called one of Felicia's friends and asked her if she could check her location using Find My Phone. Honestly, I don't know that I would have thought to do this. So that's pretty smart on their part.
Yeah, it was a smart idea, and it paid off because it worked. Felicia's phone was somewhere in Bear Creek Park, which is a little under 22 miles northwest of the Intercontinental Hotel.
Yeah, it's about a 30-minute drive, depending on traffic, just to give a better visual of where Felicia's phone was found in relation to where she was staying.
So Felicia's friend was kind enough to go to the park and search for the phone. It was located in the park off of Clay Road, lying screen down.
When the friend went to pick the phone up, she realized there was blood on the sides and bottom of the phone, and more inside and outside of the case.
This discovery prompted Felicia's friend to report her missing and turn the phone over to the police.
Felicia's father, Kevin, immediately flew to Houston from San Diego to try to find some answers and began working tirelessly to gain awareness for Felicia's disappearance. He even partnered with a community activist, hired a private investigator, and partnered with Crime Stoppers to offer a $5,000 reward.
Besides rallying the community and raising a reward fund, Kevin also pressured the Houston Police Department to take a deeper dive into Felicia's whereabouts. His continued efforts led to Texas EquiSearch and the FBI coming to join the search.
Texas EquiSearch actually found Felicia's purse in Bear Creek Park, close to where her phone was found. Several items were inside of her purse, including her ID, multiple credit cards, and a face mask. It was still COVID times.
Tim Miller from Texas EquiSearch told a local news outlet that Bear Creek Park was thick with brush in certain areas, with small roads that wind between the brush. It would be easy for someone to pull in, dump something, and leave without being seen.
And because of the ease in which someone could dump something without being noticed, Tim was afraid that this would be one of those cases where Felicia would never be found.
That being said, let's discuss where Felicia was last potentially seen. Her family and friends initially believed that she was last seen on April 15th at the Cover Girls nightclub in Houston.
Yeah, apparently she was trying to get a job at the club, and when her interview was over, she called an Uber. But the Uber took too long to show up, so a man at the club offered to take her where she needed to go.
Her loved ones thought this man who gave her a ride was the last person to see her. But as more of the investigation came to light, the job interview and car ride after had absolutely nothing to do with her disappearance.
Right. Felicia actually got back to the Intercontinental Hotel around 5 p.m. on April 15th, though we don't know if she stayed there for the rest of the night or not.
So, detectives obtained the security footage from the Intercontinental Hotel where Felicia was staying, and while reviewing it, they saw a gray Porsche Macan SUV pull into the main driveway of the hotel around 2:54 a.m.
And then, just 1 minute later, Felicia enters the elevator from the 15th floor of the hotel. She exits the front doors with her phone and purse in hand, gets into the passenger side of the Porsche, and the car drives away.
Investigators wondered if it was possible that Felicia was engaging in sex work when she was picked up in the SUV. So they conducted a search of her name, Felicia, using a website that scrapes sex work for advertisements for a match.
And they got one. Felicia posted an ad on April 16th at 12:28 a.m. on a website called skipthegame.com, not even 30 minutes before she left the hotel.
With this new detail, the Houston PD decided to look into Uber records to see if the Porsche that picked Felicia up had been a hired ride. And bingo, it was.
On April 16th at 2:47 a.m., an Uber was requested by Chukwuebuka Nwabudu for a pickup at the Intercontinental Hotel and drop-off at 3233 Wind Chase Boulevard, the address on Nwabudu's driver's license.
Felicia was dropped off at the aforementioned address at 3:28 a.m. No other Ubers were requested by Nwabudu that night.
So now we know where Felicia went in the early morning hours of April 16th, 2022. But what do we know about who she met?
Good question. We don't have much information about Nwabudu's background except that he was 28 years old, grew up in Texas, and went to schools in the Fort Bend County area. And for those unfamiliar with the area, Fort Bend County contains cities like Sugar Land, Richmond, and a small area of Houston.
Yep, we know this. And that he had something on his record that piqued the investigators' interest. Back in November of 2020, a woman we'll call Jessica called the Houston PD at 5:07 a.m. to report a sexual assault against Nwabudu.
Red flags, anyone? According to Jessica, she had been at the West Oaks apartment complex waiting for a friend when Nwabudu approached and began talking to her. When she figured out that her friend wasn't going to show, Nwabudu offered to give her a ride in his 2009 silver Honda Accord.
The report states that he drove Jessica to the end of a dark, unlit, dead-end street near 14913 Richmond Avenue, parked, and then grabbed Jessica in an attempt to rape her. Jessica, the badass that she is, escaped from the car, but Nwabudu chased her down the street.
Yeah, he managed to grab onto her wrist before Jessica got free again and kept running until she felt safe enough to call the police. But when the police arrived at the scene and spoke with her, Jessica denied that any physical violence or sexual assault occurred and didn't want to press charges.
I found this extremely confusing at first. But depending on Jessica's lifestyle or line of work, she may have decided to change her story for fear of not being taken seriously, or getting in trouble herself for some reason or another.
Even though Jessica refused to press charges, the police still interviewed Nwabudu to get his side of the story. According to him, he and Jessica met at the apartment complex and then left in his car, stopping at a gas station. Nwabudu told police he got $150 from an ATM at the gas station, put it on his dashboard, and Jessica took it.
It was at this point that he drove them to the unlit dead-end street where they both got into the backseat of the car. According to Nwabudu, Jessica left the car without giving him his money back, and this is why he ran after her in an attempt to stop her.
If his story is true, then we could be looking at a sexual exchange that didn't end the way Nwabudu hoped. Who knows how much of it is true? Honestly, he probably did try to rape her, But it could explain why Jessica may have decided not to press charges and potentially face legal consequences herself.
Right, because sex work of any kind is illegal in Texas. Not to mention, we all know sex workers aren't taken seriously when it comes to matters of sexual assault.
Exactly. Okay, now y'all may be asking yourselves why we just dove into the details of an event that happened almost 2 years prior to Felicia's disappearance. But it helps paint the picture of who Nwabudike is and his probable poor treatment of women.
Like we mentioned earlier, Nwabudike drove a 2009 silver Honda Accord. Well, it was registered to an apartment complex at 14935 South Richmond Avenue, where he had lived since March of 2020. This is not the address where he had the Uber drop off Felicia.
Right. Even though he was still living in the apartment off of Richmond Avenue during the investigation.
Yep. So remember that security footage showing Felicia being dropped off by that Uber at 3233 Windchase Boulevard? Well, Nwabudike is also on that footage, arriving at the front entrance of the apartment complex at 3:18 a.m.
He sure is. And Nwabudike gets to the apartment 10 minutes before that Uber dropped Felicia off. You can see her walking toward the front of the apartments in the CCTV footage.
So she meets up with Nwabudike at the entrance, and around 10 minutes later, his Honda can be seen traveling northbound on Windchase towards Richmond Avenue, where he is currently living.
The assumption is that Felicia was in the car with him at the time. She can't be seen inside the car in any of the footage, but given what we know about the events that evening, it's safe to say she was more than likely in the car with him.
So, following Nwabudike's trail, investigators reviewed the security footage from his current apartment on Richmond Avenue, which showed his car pulling into the lot at 3:51 a.m.
Right. He doesn't stay home long, though, because his car is seen leaving again at 4:54 a.m., heading in the direction of Highway 6. And it must have been a quick errand because the cameras catch him arriving back at his apartment on Richmond Avenue around 40 minutes later at 5:38 a.m.
Okay, we've given a lot of information, so let's do a quick recap of the timeline. Felicia is picked up by an Uber in front of the Intercontinental Hotel at 2:56 a.m. on April 16th, 2022. She gets dropped off at 3233 Windchase Boulevard at 3:28 a.m.
Felicia then walks toward the front of the apartment complex where Nwabudike is waiting for her. At 3:40 a.m., his Honda can be seen driving toward Richmond Avenue and arriving home at 3:51.
Just over an hour later, at 4:54, the Honda can be seen leaving again, heading towards Highway 6. It arrives back at the apartment complex at 5:38 a.m. and ends the timeline of events.
Yeah, his actions that night are definitely suspicious. So suspicious, in fact, that detectives looked into his bank records.
They discovered that Nwabudike made 2 ATM withdrawals on April 16th for $300 and $200. He also ventured to Walmart on the 16th, where he bought a t-shirt and an Ozark Trail flashlight.
He returned to Walmart the next day, April 17th, and bought 4 hand towels, a 13-gallon trash can, and 13-gallon trash bags.
Under normal circumstances, these items might not seem strange, but given the situation, they're a little weird.
Yeah, they are. Not to mention that security footage from the Walmart showed Nwabudike had his right hand bandaged during both of his shopping trips.
The bandage is suspect, considering he didn't have a bandage on his hand in the security footage from the apartment complex earlier that morning.
Detectives did some digging and found out that Nwabudike went to a medical clinic around 10:15 a.m. on the 16th, saying that he cut himself while opening boxes.
Sure, he did. So obviously, our dude is questionable, but detectives need to make sure there's a tie between him and Felicia's disappearance. So they look into her cell phone records.
And they discovered that Felicia's cell phone connected to a cell tower in the area of Nwabudike's apartment around 3:55 a.m. on April 16th. Then, not even 2 hours later, at 5:12 a.m., her phone connected to a tower in the area where her bloody phone and purse were found.
Detectives theorized that when Nwabudike left his apartment at 4:54 that morning and returned at 5:38, he was ditching Felicia's phone and purse at Bear Creek Park.
It's a solid theory. Not to mention that Felicia's Snapchat records show she was going to meet up with someone for $500 on the 16th, which happens to be the exact amount Nwabudike withdrew from the ATM.
More than a coincidence, for sure. With all of this evidence, detectives were able to obtain a search warrant for Nwabudike's apartment and the Honda. They also got a warrant for his arrest.
On May 13th, 2022, all of the warrants were carried out. Nwabudike was actually arrested during a traffic stop and taken to the station. We'll get into more of that later, though.
Detectives found some interesting items in his Honda, including a Taurus 9mm handgun, multiple Home Depot receipts, a Walmart receipt, a bunch of loose latex gloves, a large kitchen knife, and a shovel.
One of the Home Depot receipts listed a purchase for long cuff neoprene gloves and nitrile gloves made on April 16th at 8:14 a.m. Then, the Walmart receipt showed a purchase for a reciprocating saw on April 17th at midnight.
The other Home Depot receipt found in the Honda showed a purchase for an 18-inch pruning saw and disposable nitrile gloves made on April 17th at 10:16 a.m.
If that doesn't provide enough evidence, maybe this will. Investigators used Blue Star, a blood reagent that finds blood traces at crime scenes or in labs in the Honda. It's kind of like luminol on steroids.
Right. The Blue Star picked up blood in several areas of the car, including the trunk and the back seat. You know what else lit up? The large kitchen knife.
Oh! We haven't even talked about what investigators found in Nwabudike's apartment on Richmond Avenue yet. You ready for this?
Not really, but let's get into it. Bloodstains were found all over the apartment. On the floor in the hallway outside the bathroom, on a blue flip-flop in the bedroom, on the bottom of an office chair in the bedroom, on the bedroom floor, on the bottom of the bedroom door jamb, the exterior of the bedroom door, and on the front of the nightstand.
Blue Star found blood on large areas of the bedroom floor and on the hallway outside of the bathroom and bedroom. DNA testing showed that the blood on the floor outside of the bathroom was a combination of Nwabudike's and Felicia's blood. The blood found everywhere else was just Felicia's.
Because of the large amount of blood in the apartment and the receipts, detectives believe Felicia was dead and more than likely dismembered, then taken out of the apartment days later.
Okay, so let's back up to that traffic stop on May 13th that led to Nwabudike's arrest. Unfortunately, we don't have many details about what happened while he was in custody.
Yeah, there is no information about what Nwabudike told the detectives. We do know that his cell phone was taken, but in the end, he was released from custody with no charges.
So, we've got an apartment covered in Felicia's blood, a ton of questionable purchases, security footage that shows them together, and cell phone data, but not enough to charge him with anything. Make it make sense.
Oh, it gets crazier. After he was released, Nwabudike went on the run. Nothing suspicious there. And when detectives searched his phone, they found a picture of a deceased, dismembered woman.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly my thoughts. The woman in the photo hasn't been confirmed to be Felicia, but there were 3 other photos of deceased individuals on his phone as well.
You know he turned over that phone, knowing exactly what they'd find, and booked it as fast as he could the second he left the police station.
Oh, absolutely. So, Nwabudike goes on the run after he's released from custody on May 13th, 2022. This just makes the detectives even more interested in what he's been up to, and they get a search warrant for his Gmail account on June 4th. This gives them access to his search history, and there are some damning searches on his account.
Yeah. On April 20th, 4 days after Felicia was last seen with Nwubudu, he made the following searches. Does bleach denature blood? Can bleach destroy DNA? What does bleach do to blood? What does vinegar do to blood? Does vinegar destroy blood DNA?
The next day, on April 21st, he searched for the most forested part of Houston. Then, 6 days later, on April 27th, he searched how to delete your history completely.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I know.
It's not funny.
It's too much. It's not funny, but it is.
Oh my God.
Because this guy's an idiot.
Anyway, if that's not damning enough, on April 28th, Nwubudu Googled the following things. Oh, Christ, really? How to be a serial killer. 15 cheapest places to live in the world. $1,000 a month. How to kill without getting caught. How does one plan a murder without getting caught?
Yeah, I bet the police were really wishing they hadn't let him go at this point. Especially because it seems like he absolutely wanted to kill again. On April 30th, he searched for more escorts in the Houston area.
And then on May 3rd, he Googled, can police check phone records of a missing person? Can police check victims' text messages? Can police unlock a phone during an investigation?
I know. With all of the blood evidence found in the apartment and the search history found on his cell phone, Nwubudu was charged with murder and tampering with evidence, meaning Felicia's body, on June 9th of 2022.
A photo of Nwubudu and a $5,000 reward for any information about his whereabouts were included in a statement released by the police.
Unfortunately, as of this episode, Nwubudu is still on the run and is believed to be in Nigeria.
Given his history and the terrifying evidence, it's extremely scary to think that this man is free in another country.
Yeah, you don't want to say it, but it makes you wonder if he has hurt more women since he fled.
I mean, sadly, it wouldn't be surprising if he has. Felicia's father, Kevin, has spoken out against the Houston PD, saying they dropped the ball by releasing Nwubudu after his arrest on May 13th, 2022.
He's even mentioned filing a lawsuit against the Houston PD as well as the state of Texas. I can't say I blame him if he did.
Even though they took an obviously blatant misstep in letting Nwubudu go, the Houston PD did continue to search for Felicia's remains.
On February 7th, 2023, a TxDOT worker found human remains and a bag filled with jewelry in the Sam Houston National Forest near Flamingo Lakes and Highway 149. The jewelry matched what Felicia had been wearing, so authorities contacted Felicia's father, Kevin.
The remains were sent off for DNA and dental record analysis, and by the end of February, they were confirmed to be Felicia's. Investigators told Law and Crime that while there was no formal cause of death, the assumption was that she was the victim of a homicide.
Kevin told the local news station, KHOU 11, that he was relieved and grateful Felicia had been found. He said, "I'm just glad that my baby is going to be home in some way, shape, or form shortly. That's big. That's huge. Some people never get the closure."
A GoFundMe was created on behalf of Felicia's family to raise money for a memorial fund, grief counseling, and to seek justice for her murder.
Felicia was a beautiful young woman with her whole life in front of her. She had dreams of working in the hair, makeup, and modeling industry.
Her father said that no matter what was going on in her life, she always came home to celebrate birthdays with her family. Kevin was looking forward to walking her down the aisle and being a grandfather. Events that will never happen thanks to Nwubudu's horrific acts.
Unfortunately, there are no new updates in Felicia's case. Unwabudu is still on the run, like we said. He is described as a black male with brown eyes and black hair. He is 6'1" and approximately 260 pounds.
Please be sure to check the picture of Nwubudu that we've included on our socials. If you see him, call police immediately.
If you have any information on his whereabouts, call the Houston PD Homicide Division at 713-308-3600 or Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS.
I can't.
It's very frustrating.
Rendered absolutely speechless.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess I know there's like a 24-hour rule where they probably didn't have enough to charge him with anything at the time, because I don't know that they had the information on the blood and all that's the DNA at that point.
They didn't. That's the frustrating thing. It was just circumstantial evidence at that point,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't enough to actually keep him detained. So they had to let him go. But God, I mean,
he did what he did. That's why he
booked it. Yeah. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. And you know that he's off somewhere doing the same thing to other women.
I mean, if those Google searches are any sort of an indication, that hurt my brain saying all of those.
I know. And the previous situation with
that he's already with the first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it was a clear progression, like he was getting steadily worse, and poor Felicia just wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. It's devastating. And I hope that they can find him. I highly doubt he would be anywhere where he could get extradited back to the States.
That's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah. So this is just a sad story all around. At least she was found and they got to have a proper, goodbye
to her. That's at least. It's like, he ran off and she's not found. Her family is still wondering what happened to her, where she is. At the very least, she was found and brought home.
Yeah. So there's, I guess, a little bit of a silver lining here, if you can even call it that. Yeah. This one just sucks all around. Like, I mean,
all of these cases, all of these, worst times in these people's lives that we talk about, they all suck. But at least sometimes somebody is brought to justice.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, I'm afraid that he never will be.
He may never.
No,
but all we can do is sit here and hope that karma's going to bite him in the ass one day.
I know. I hope he's suffering really hard somewhere and his apartment is infested with rats or cockroaches or
fleas. Have you ever been in flea infested?
Yes.
Yeah, fleas upon fleas, and gangrene setting in, and maggots. Okay, I'm sorry. I could go we don't want to go there.
We hope he's suffering.
Yeah, just before Amber goes too dark, we'll just say we hope he is not happy.
Yeah, and until next time when we bring you something a little lighter, stay safe.
And make good choices. Bye.
Bye.
Fuck it.
That's good.
He's a wizard. We gotta use our wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.